my greeting to all fellow friends and those who live in every single country that cares about human rights, justice, and equality for the humankind. If we look at the events that are taking place in the world, we are confronted with many issues that sometimes are really surprising to just about every person. In one hand, United States with its covert operations and other countries simply under the name of self-interest or our interest rally about around the flags and exploit the other countries that are less fortunate in this world. And those countries that are moving forward for the prosperity and perhaps their leaders are working hard to make life better for their people, they become the target for the multi corporations, and simply because they have rich and valuable mineral that is called oil, and as we know it, energy is the most important issues on the face of the earth. Their exploitation of these countries for many, many years exceeded beyond any thoughts or any expectations. An atrocity that became out of it is so far disturbing that any person with conscience cannot sit quiet and say nothing. On one hand, we see that creation of JSOC in the United States and the showcase of capturing bin Laden, which was practically a joke and only had propaganda other than reality. An individual that the whole entire world was after to capture him because of the violation of rules and regulations, killing innocent people, all of a sudden is captured and his body is thrown in the ocean for the sharks to have a dinner with. Interesting is that I don't know, these leaders think that people are stupid or mindless or practically buy whatever nonsense that they feed them. At least not for me. Around November 11th, I informed my fellow friends and colleagues, peers, of the activities that are going on in the Middle East, an island that is belonged to the state of Oman, has been given to the United States, and by the order of President Barack Obama, the United States is building up the most highly effective and the strongest military command center in this part of the world. By the March 1st, 50,000 soldiers will occupy this island, and it will be ready for any war or any activities in the region. It was not long ago that United States, the government of Islamic Republic, or I should call them anti-humankind, and the government of Iraq had a military maneuver, which the intent was to stay firm against Al Qaeda and put their powers together to defeat them. 3 days later, Al Qaeda occupies Fallujah and Ramadi in Iraq, and after killing so many innocent people, all of a sudden they disappear. As they came in quietly and occupied Fallujah, which United States lost a lot of good people to occupy this part of the country due to the fact that it's a very, very strategic environment and city. Within less than 6 hours, loses his grip on this city. And all of a sudden, they disappear. The question that comes to mind, why no action was taken by either United States or the government of the anti-human being, Islamic Republic, or the government of Iraq? Why none of the armies, which just recently had a maneuver together, closed the gap and behind the Fallujah did not block the escape way for the Al Qaeda? Did the United States wait for Islamic Republic to take action, or Iran hesitated to do anything and waited for the United States to take an action, or for that matter, Iraqi government expected either one of the Iran or United States take an action? The fact of the matter is, the Al Qaeda, as they came in, killing innocent people, they got out without any resistance. And as we know it today, over 30,000 Al Qaeda and Al Nasr in Syria are forming their army and most likely to attack Israel in the near future. In fact, Al Nasr and Al Qaeda made a statement that after they topple Bashar Assad's government, their next focus will be totally on Israel. If Israel take any military action, would any country oppose their action? Don't they have the right to defend their country and their people more than anything else? Would any country allow their enemy to camp next to their border and threaten every one of their citizens? Of course not. So there should be no blame on Israel if they take any military action to save their country and their people. On the other hand, nuclear negotiations was performed, and about a year ago in Spain there was a meeting between the government of mullahs and United States, and they agreed upon additional negotiations, and they had 5 meetings in Oman in the most secret way, which was practically provided all the safe conditions and secret conditions by the government of Oman. 423 articles was attached to this proposal or agreement. In addition to that, there was additional of 164 articles, and later on, after about 2 weeks, changed to 171 articles in regards to Geneva Agreement. We do not know exactly what those articles are, but pretty much we can guess what may have been agreed upon in these 5 meetings in Oman, and particularly the one in Spain. United States government asked the mullahs to select Rouhani as the president of Iran, particularly since he was the head of the nuclear negotiations in the past, and so he became the president. Even the information that we got from the government of mullahs and their statistics they provided did not really provide any facts or truth about how this man was elected. In fact, he was selected, and we know that, the same way as Ahmadinejad previously became president, and all of a sudden, out of the boxes of ballot, his head came out as the president for the second term. The other issue was the fact that every single head of the governments in Europe, including the United States, tried to blame Bashar Assad for the chemical weapons that was used on the people of Syria. Later on, was discovered that, in fact, this was not the case. The chemical weapons was provided to Turkey, and from Turkey was provided or given to Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia put all these missiles, chemical missiles, in the hands of al-Nasr, and al-Nasr put it in the hands of Al-Qaeda, and they released the bombs and killed innocent people, and God knows what the really number of killed personnel or persons are really in this inhumane actions. Every single leader of the European countries tried to blame Bashar Assad. Mr. Cameron from England, or the Prime Minister of England, he went on to say, without any shame, that we cannot wait for the answers or investigations of facts about who actually triggered these missiles. In fact, if there be any information, is probably altered, tampered with, and we cannot trust it. And regardless of whether or not this information become available, we have to bomb Syria. France and Turkey also, including Saudi Arabia, were pushing for the United States to bomb Syria. All of a sudden, Russia, Mr. Putin, President Putin, through its Prime Minister of Foreign Relations or State, sends a proposal that if Bashar Assad allowed the United Nations to take over its chemical stock, then attack on Syria should be halted and should be no more bombing actions by any of the European countries. France, Turkey, Saudi Arabia infamously fought against this proposal. And when it was close for the United States and Mr. Obama to take an action and order the military to start bombing Syria, Putin comes to the United States and visit Mr. Obama. Do you know what he told Mr. Obama? The fact is that he told Mr. Obama, if you take any actions and bomb Syria, we have no other alternatives than provide all the documentations to the United Nations, and without reasonable doubt or without any hesitation, we tell the truth to the Security Council, and we make sure that all these documents will become available to all news media that the United States was involved in transferring the chemical weapons to Turkey and from Turkey to Saudi Arabia, and by the hands of Saudis given to Al-Nas and Al-Qaeda. Well, there are several questions. As Mr. Obama promised that by the end of 2013 and before Christmas or New Year, the 50,000 American soldiers from Iraq will come back to the United States. This didn't happen. The plan changed. Later on, Mr. Obama decided to spread these soldiers to between Emirat, Kuwait, and Dubai. And again, after a week or two, this decision changed. And the order came out that the 50,000 American soldiers must remain in Iraq, in addition to 50,000 soldiers from Blackwater, which most of you know about it. If you do not know, please go to YouTube and type Jeremy Skyhill, and you will find all the truth about these issues. Also, I strongly suggest to study the documentation that Mr. Rupert has provided to the American people, which now he lives in Canada and his health is deteriorating, assumably due to the fact that he may have been exposed to some kind of a chemicals that has caused him this discomfort. The Patriotic Act that was approved due to the 9/11 really, in reality, took all our freedoms away. If you think our government is respecting or are respecting the Constitution, I suggest you think twice. There are enough information and heroes in the news media that still are telling the truth. But unfortunately, for some reason, American people stop reading and paying attention to newspapers, magazines, particularly the ones that are always telling the truth. Unfortunately, the news media also are corrupted. Instead of being a journalist organizations, now they are companies and looking after profit. And no longer we can expect from them to hear the truth. So we have to turn to organizations and journalists that they live out of the United States and try to get information from them. And there are still people in journalism that we can trust them because they always tell the truth, no matter what the consequences are. For the first time, the President of the United States orders the killing of American citizens. The documents are available to prove this point. I'm not suggesting that anyone should be impeached, but there are enough atrocity that is happening in this country that 20 years ago it was impossible for any of us to believe such actions will ever be taken by the government of the United States. The government is not truthful to us anymore. I hope in a short video I was able to provide you at least with some information for you to think about. Hopefully in the future I will try to provide more information, and hopefully out of that some unity will come about, that we all organize and force our government to be abide by the Constitution of the United States. Something that we always been proud of it. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless America. I wish you all the best. Hope to see you soon.